You are watching a special presentation from Tinkle Group Gaming. "51 cars are here today at the Daytona International Raceway for pole qualifying for the Jello Cup Series Great American Race. Of course, we will also be battling for 40 spots here. Hello, guys. I'm Brian here in the booth with you today. Welcome to our coverage. Again, 51 cars here attempting to make the field. Of course, 3 will lock in tonight. We'll get more into details on that. But 51 cars is the record for the entry list. So thank you all for making that happen. It beats last year's record of 50. We have 10 full-timers that have to race their way in, and we have 8 part-timers that'll attempt to make the field. And we have a bunch of guys making their debuts, but let's break it all down here for qualifying as far as the procedures go. We will have group qualifying this season. It's different from last season where we had single car queue. Unfortunately, we just ran out of time for that. But it's going to be 3 rounds. We will kick things off with the go or go homers. The top 7 will advance into round 2. And then it'll be the top 33 plus the 7 go or go home and part-time entries that have advanced from round 1. We will then chop it down to top 10 for round number 3. And that'll be the battle for the pole and, frankly, the front row. So the top 2 lock their positions in for the 500 unless they wreck, which they did, or which, could happen, could not happen. You never know. Top 3 go or go homers in round 2 or round 3, whichever ones, whether there's 4 that advance to round 3 or whatever have you. The top 3 will advance into the 500 and keep their positions in the dual races. And that is regardless of what happens with the other go or go homers in the duels. The rest of the go or go homers will be reshuffled to even out the duels. And a final note, Zach Fitzwater Sr., of course, he is your defending champion in that 16 for Colleague. His past champion's provisional cannot be applied to this session. So if he does not qualify, he will have to race his way in on Thursday. And of course, if he is unable to do that, he will replace the slowest, or again, whoever the second transfer spot goes to in Duel 1 and Duel 2, it'll come down to whoever had the slowest lap time that'll be sent home. So that's something to keep in mind, of course. So you're going to want to get a fast time if you're a go or go homer. So that way Zach Fitzwater does not bump you if he does not make the field via the transfer position. So something to keep in mind. We got a lot going on, though. We have only a little bit of time. Let's get to the track as the first round of qualifying is about to kick off right now on Tinkle Group Gaming. Hello, guys. Welcome here to knockout qualifying for the Jello Cup Series, or pole qualifying as well. For the Jello Cup Series, welcome back. The go or go homers and part-timers are taking to the track as we speak right now, starting with Dan Hummel in that number 25. Of course, Mohammed Zain Abdullah, keep in mind, as mentioned, the top 7 will advance into round 2 with the full top 33 drivers to battle for the pole. And then, of course, after rounds 1 and 2, after round 2 and potentially round 3, the top 3 go or go homers will be locked in to the Great American Race, while the rest will have to battle their way in. But again, it's only a 10-minute session here before they go on to the 15-minute session in just a little bit. Here we go. We might get our first pack formed. Keep in mind, the quicker you get a pack formed, the more likely you are to get in. You only got 10 minutes to find drafting partners. You see, they're going to do it right here. Of course, these guys running here at night, they'll do so again for the duels. 46.875 for the 50 of Aubrey Scott. And then Jackie Smith gets a 46 second lap as well. Tell only 6 drivers have gone so far. Make that 7 now, Brian James. But Aubrey Scott is the fastest. Dan Hummel is the bubble. $47.869. That's just not gonna last. You could tell right there, trampled right away. The 98. Parker Jones Jr. just went up second. And the bubble is now held by Christian Bracken in the number 45. Parker Smith there. See a lot of guys running by themselves. This is not what they need if they want to advance. Some of these guys are going to have to run in the high 47s or even in the 46 second bracket if they want any shot of advancing. And look at this pack. This could be the pack that moves on because they are very well formed right now. Fitzwater's in this. Keep in mind, Fitzwater cannot advance to pole qualifying with the provisional. He can advance to the 500 with the provisional, though. And he can only use it in 7 events this season. So he will be locked in the first 5 races, meaning it'll be on him if he does not get in to the top 33, and he goes up to 9th. Parker Jones is the fastest. Christian Bracken, currently the guy on the bubble. And you could tell 46.9 is not going to be enough to get you in. Some of these guys going to have to dig and find something. $46,406 will put the 16 on the bubble now. A lot of these part-timers looking good so far. The 60's in, the 67's in, the 50's in, the 84 is in so far. Dan Hummel currently the slowest. $13 just crawled in. Samet's dead ahead, and keep in mind Samet's got to find something or he might not be in. And it looks like he might have. Couldn't pick up his lap time that time. 78, Jackie Smith has broken the 45-second mark. Smet tried to use the draft of his teammate. $45,897 to third goes Samet Ozkan. And to the fastest goes Skylar Martinez. An issue for the 13. Eli Wolf, maybe he's just bailing on it, and it looks like that's what he's doing. Oh, something broke on the 13. That is not good, because if something broke on that 13 as time stands, but he will have to go to the rear for the 500 if he gets in. Parker Jones is going to have to find something. If he wants to stay in, he is on the bubble now. Fitzwater and company have gone to the top of the boards. So far the two Colleague cars are going to advance to main qualifying in round number 2. And the 98's in a really good position right now. $45,906 up to 5th. He might be safe. What about the 60 of Nick Hershey? He is on the bubble. And it's going to be close. $67, Logan Williams. He's just not going to get there, unfortunately. And we'll see this time with this pack. Keep in mind once they hit the line, because I believe the 27 pitted. This session will end once they hit the line. Aubrey Scott bails. He will have to race in on Thursday. And that is the end of the session. So Skylar Martinez, Zach Fitzwater, Eli Wolf, Samet Ozkan, Parker Jones Jr., Jackie Smith, Nick Hershey, and Nick Hershey is the last one that'll advance to pole qualifying in round number 2. Unfortunately for the rest of these guys, and Brian James included, who was the fastest in opening practice, they're going to have to figure it out in the duels tomorrow night. Alright, we will be back with the top 33 plus the 7 that advanced in just a moment, so stay tuned here to Tinkle Group Gaming. Welcome back. It is round 2 of qualifying after we have determined which go or go homers will battle for those top 3 spots. And you can see Zach Fitzwater's the first one out on track. He qualified his way in round 1 to be here in round number 2. And again, keep in mind the top 3 go or go homers in this session the fastest go or go homers after this round and round 3. The top 3 will lock in. The fastest 10 from this session will go on to battle for the pole in the next one, as Bradley Ream is out on track. J.J. Bell, Jana Fogelman, Mark DeSoto, Mitchell Hodak, Eli Wolf, Samet Ozkan, and they're going to get hooked up pretty quick. Now, it's a 15-minute session, so there's a lot of time. It's not like the last one that was 10 minutes long. Of course, the final round is 10 minutes. There's Charles Sanford making his way out of the pits. And what's going to be interesting is seeing which of these go-or-go-homers will link up. You know, of course, many of them have not practiced or been on this track at the same time as these top 33 guys. So these 7 going to have to figure out who their friends are going to be very quick. Oh, boy. Austin Shaw. Michael Collins on his way out. How's about this? The 78 and the 1 have hooked up already. Nathan Orman, Jackie Smith, the Season 2 truck champion. So far, the fastest is Jana Fogelman in the number 12. Make that Charles Sanford. And again, don't mind those times yet, because I promise you they will get down into the 45-second mark. Man, Sanford and Fitzwater, they've got to get single file here and try to make something happen. Again, Fitzwater cannot use the Champions Provisional in this qualifying session. But if he does not advance here and does not advance via the duels, he will have to use the past Champions Provisional. Take a look at the Fords back here trying to work together. Kyler Anderson, Trevor Collins. Now you see Fitzwater trying once again. Mitchell Collins is currently the fastest. And again, the top 10 will advance into round 3, the final round of qualifying. Look at this massive pack dead ahead. And they're about to catch the 11 and the 98 very quick. Also dead ahead is Nick Hershey, another one that's going to have to race his way in here today in qualifying. Look at the speeds. 197. Brittany White, the fastest right now, 45.72. And these speeds are way up from last season. But look at this pack. Jackie Smith now in the top 10. She's the only go-homer so far. Well, actually, the 27 as well of Skylar Martinez. So the two of them, go-homers, they are in the top 10 right now. And again, if they can stay there, they'll be in no matter what. See the 48 Austin Shaw. He's in 8th right now. Bubble is held by Dylan Ibrahimian in that number 43. '88 Roberto Crown Jr. '65 Dave James in this slightly smaller pack. And this pack is, well, no, wait, this isn't the same one. Excuse me, Nick Voiles is pacing this one right now. Here's that massive pack we were talking about. So actually, I lied. Right now, as it stands, Jackie Smith, the 27 of Skylar Martinez, and the 98 of Parker Jones Jr. would be the three that are locked in to the 500 on speed right now. And that's what these guys want to do, because if Zach Fitzwater does not get in, and again, mind you, if Zach Fitzwater does not get in, via this session, then these guys need to get in via this session, because then no matter what happens in the duels, they'll be locked into the 500. And that's something they're thinking about. Eli Wolf, 37th right now. See Samet running 32nd. He looked promising in that opening session. He moves up to 24th now. I mean, he looked promising early. Unfortunately, just can't find anything right now. Mitchell Collins, 28th quick. There's Reggie Fogelman, the slowest right now. But again, he would move up in the grid, because the go-homers that don't place in the top 3 of those go-homers will get re-racked back at the back of the pack for their respective duels. But either way, it won't be a solid start for Reggie. Daniel Voiles here. Dick Clark, Alex Underwood. There's Zach Fitzwater hanging in 38th right now. Definitely a session to forget for them. And same for this 99 of Charles Sanford. As again, right now the 98 Parker Jones Jr. is holding that last transfer spot. Man, those three have got to be hoping, man, let us stay here. The 31 just cracked the top 10. So did a few others, it appears. So now the 98 is on the bubble for the top 10. Yeah, we saw Trevor Collins break the top 10 along with Ali Liara and Kyler Anderson. And you see why. They're reeling in the 1 and the 11 dead ahead. It's going to take a monster lap to change anything up at this point. And Parker Jones is going to have to find a massive lap. The next fastest go-homer is 17th. And that's the 60 of Nick Hershey for RFK Racing. And he's struggling. He's trying to find something. Nathan Ormond just jumped in. But again, Parker Jones still that last go-homer that would lock in. So I don't think there's that much concern. However, you should be concerned because look who's trailing this pack right now. And he just jumped in. Eli Wolf with a monster lap will jump to third fast. So now the 27 of Skylar Martinez is the bubble. And Eli Wolf is in, and I think he'll be safely in with that monster of a lap. How's about that? They looked down and out. Aaron Jeter with an issue. Zach Fitzwater deciding he's had enough. He's going to be the slowest of the session, and that's just unfortunate for him. Excuse me. Brittany White will get one more go around. And Eli Wolf jumped to second quick now. Again, right now it'd be Eli Wolf, Jackie Smith, Nick Martinez, or Skylar Martinez. That would be your 3 go-homers that lock into the field. Reggie Fogelman is also now in the top 10. That is huge for that, too. But the storyline is going to be Zach Fitzwater tomorrow, is that he might have to fall back on this provisional. Nick Hershey, you could tell he was trying to find something. He just can't find it. And Eli Wolf is going to be making his Jello Cup Series debut on Sunday. That'll end the session. And with that, the top 10 that'll battle for the pole are Brittany White, Eli Wolf, Michael Hoeks, Reggie Fogelman, Daniel Voiles, Jackie Smith, Skylar Martinez, Kyler Anderson, Alex Underwood, and Nathan Ormond in the number 1. And keep in mind, the top 3 go-homers lock in, and they are in no matter what happens in round number 3. Eli Wolf, Jackie Smith, Skylar Martinez, those 3 go-homers will race on Sunday regardless of what happens in the next session or in the duels tomorrow. So congratulations to them. So now we have 36 cars locked in. Zach Fitzwater, we mentioned, he is going to have to find something in these duels if he wants to avoid using a provisional. Otherwise, where he's finished in this session is where he's going to start on Sunday. But, alright. We'll be back with the final round for the pole in the front row in just a moment. Here we go. Final round here tonight. In qualifying, Jackie Smith, the first one out. And for Jackie Smith, Eli Wolf, Skylar Martinez in that 27, there is no fear going into this session. Of course, we know they're going to try and give it their all to take the pole. But again, there is no fear entering this session if you're those three, because you're in the 500 no matter what. And with only 8 minutes remaining, it's going to be about who can get grouped up the fastest. We might have it here. Maybe a little too far. Brittany White, of course, was the fastest in the last session. Excuse me. See, everybody's really well spaced out for the most part. Might have our shot here. Actually, here it is. Alex Underwood has caught the 14. So Alex Underwood might be the first one to get a draft here in the session, which is big for that 34, and it's going to happen. Now they'll reel in the 27. The next closest might be the 2 and the 17 here. Brittany White to the top for a short period. There we go, Michael Hoax, Daniel Voiles. But you see the 3 Fords have paired up. Fogelman just got third. And third place doesn't matter here. Your goal is to get the front row. Daniel Voiles just went up to second quick and make that third. My mistake. Didn't realize we had the last person time in. Really, the Fords have executed the best. May take something big here. So a lot of guys side by side. Brittany White's going to bail. Must be feeling pretty content with her time, and she shouldn't, because Skylar Martinez just went to the front row with a 48.227. And these guys that are side by side, you've got to be telling yourself right now, man, get your act together. Someone figure out who's going to lead this group. And it would appear the 13 and the 78 just decided, we're content. I mean, there really just doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency for either of them. Two and a half minutes remain. These guys catching the 14. Won't matter. Voiles just went to second fastest. Voiles gonna look to put it on the front row for the Great American Race, and he might just do it with 2 minutes remaining. How's about that? Michael Hoke's just a little off. He's gonna hope to find something here. They'll get single file again. And if they can just stay single file, these two might be able to take the front row away. Here goes Voiles again. 27 is bailed, decided, you know what, we're content. No improvement. Alex Underwood has caught the 13 of Eli Wolf. Brittany White just jumped back onto the front row. Oh, are they going to make it? No, they're not. Eli Wolf gave it his all, trying to get back to the line. And let's see, does the 4 have an answer? No. Alright, that is it for qualifying. We'll be back to show you your front row. And we'll also give you the dual lineups in just a moment here on Tinkle Group Gaming. For the first time since season number 6, we will have a Ford, and frankly 2 Fords on the front row for the Daytona 500. Let's show you your front row. Alexander Underwood, he is the pole sitter, the first career pole for this young driver who will be making his debut in the Daytona 500. Of course, it'll be his first Jello Cup start as mentioned. It is the second 500 pole for Ford as a manufacturer. The first one was Alexander Rowe in season number 6. It is also the first for Front Row Motorsports. So congratulations to them. Of course, we know they've had such a dismal Jello Cup Series tenure as a Cup team. Brittany White, the sophomore driver, she will also be on the front row, making her first career 500 front row start in her second Jello Cup Series season. Also, we know that Stewart-Haas Racing has the most championships of any team in the Jello Cup Series, but this is a first for them. Their first front row start for the Daytona 500. So congratulations to Brittany White and company. Let's take a look now at your duel lineup, starting with duel number 1. Of course, Alexander Underwood will lead them to green tomorrow night. You notice the drivers in green. Martinez there, Skylar Martinez, he is locked in, so is Eli Wolf. So those two, that's why they are highlighted in green. They are the go or go homers that do not have to race their way in. Of course, Boyles will join Underwood on the front row. Good effort for Ford in this qualifying session. But we look at Parker Jones Jr., who was so close to locking in, just couldn't finish the job late, couldn't get speed. He'll be joining Samet Ozkan, Logan Williams, Mohamed Zain Abdullah, Michael Brown, Pretty Shaw, Patrick Smith, Parker Smith, my mistake, Parker Smith in the 91. And then Dan Hummel in an attempt to make the 500 a last-ditch effort. We now show you your duel number 2 lineup. This one will only feature 25 cars, but it will feature the defending Jello Cup Series champion. Jackie Smith is locked in. Brittany White will be joined by the 19 of Michael Hoax on that front row. Of course, Nick Hershey will lead the go or go homers, though, along with Zach Fitzwater. And again, his name with the star next to it, that means he has the champion's provisional. And again, he will replace the slowest of the final transfers. So you will want to get that first transfer spot to ensure that you will be racing on Sunday. Because if you are in the second transfer spot and Fitzwater did not advance, you will be replaced by the number 16 in the Daytona 500. So something these guys are going to want to fight for. And we can't wait to bring you the duels tomorrow night. First points race of the season, by the way, because points are awarded to the top 10 in each duel. So we'll be dishing out some points. We'll be giving out the final 4 Daytona 500 spots. We can't wait to bring it to you tomorrow night. We want to thank you for watching. Hope you like what you saw, and we will see you back here tomorrow night for Jello Cup Series Blue-Green Vacation Duels at Daytona. Until then, goodbye everyone.